It's the summer of UFC fight time again for the man sitting to my right, Anthony Birchak, UFC bantamweight. Good to have you back, brother. It is fight number 4 on the UFC platform, but it's been 8 months since the loss to Thomas Almeida. How have these 8 months been for you, kind of recovering from that knockout and getting set to go back into the octagon?
Yeah, you know, I think from a medical standpoint, I was fine. You know, the doctors gave me a 60-day medical suspension, but I think just as an overall remedy, the time was good. I linked up back with a boxing coach that got me started into mixed martial arts, Amos Sotelo. So after 6.5 years of going from coach to coach to coach, we linked back up, and he's got my head movement, you know, in a different place. My footwork is back, and it's just, I feel like this is going to be a completely different style for me now, and I'm feeling very confident going back in.
Yeah, how difficult is that? You mentioned coach to coach to coach to kind of find the right mix that you're looking for to be successful at this level.
Well, you know, it is. It's hard to find elite coaching, especially in a small town like Tucson, but you know, I've traveled to, you know, Southern California and Las Vegas, and it just, he reached out to me and was like, hey, I think we can do something together again. And he's been having me do footwork drills and head movement drills, and I think I've had more power increases in my hands with proper technique than any other coach before. So I really feel great with my boxing right now, and I think that's going to be one of the keys to success and victory for me in this fight.
Yeah, because your background really was as a wrestler from the get-go. How important was it to you when you sat down and dissected? Was that one of the things you said, I need to improve in this area?
Yeah, and I think by improving my boxing footwork and stuff like that, my wrestling footwork will come along with it. And because, you know, I'll always be able to fall back on wrestling, but to have those connective tissues like boxing and jiu-jitsu in between is very, very important, especially making one flow to each other, you know, like one water in from one cup to another. So I think the boxing's really going to bring me along, and I think you guys will see a much more refined Toro in this next fight.
Yeah, and it's interesting, and this is one of the things I was looking at recently. When you talk about mixed martial arts versus boxing, when you look at boxing records, you're so used to seeing guys, you know, 29-1, you know, 40-2, not a lot of losses. But when you look at the top 10 in MMA, you could have guys with 5 to 8 losses.
Yeah.
So it's a sport where you can lose but still put yourself in the rankings. Is there a science to losing, I guess, effectively in this sport?
I mean, I think every loss is an opportunity for growth, right? And it can be detrimental to you as well. So you really have to figure out, am I going to learn from this and we're going to propel myself, or am I going to kind of wallow in this self-pity and really just kind of go through the motions and continue that negative mentality? But I've always been one that knows if I burn my hand on the stove, that's that. So, you know, I didn't like what happened November 7th, but like we said, it's been 8 months since then. I've gotten new coaching. Casey Halstead, who's now my head coach, he owns 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu in Las Vegas. He's really brought me together and brought all my other coaches together. They communicate on a regular now, make sure I'm resting properly, make sure I'm training properly. Now, you know, I can establish myself back in the bantamweight division, because the bantamweight division right now in the UFC is probably one of the most stacked and loaded division. I mean, there's a killer, you know, 2 guys from you in every ranking. So if I can beat Dileno Lopes and get another win after that, maybe I can start talking about top 10 opponents again and get right back in the mix.
And I think that's the other thing, when you look at the uniqueness of this sport, I think that makes it maybe such a fan-based thing, is you think you have dominant people, but you really don't. And we've seen that this year with what happened to Ronda Rousey, what happened to Conor McGregor. I mean, people that people thought were invincible, but yet nobody is invincible. I mean, on any given day, you can get in the octagon and either person can win.
One of my favorite movies is Any Given Sunday, right?
Yeah,
and in the UFC, it's Any Given Saturday, man. It really boils down to just, you know, who ate a banana versus who ate an apple, and it's really splitting hairs on that elite level of everybody fights at 100%, but who can get that 101, you know, who can get that 102% and really perform on fight night.
You coach, and now you're opening your own gym. That's got to be so good for you to have a chance now to have your own place, because I've seen you, it seems like every time I come to interview, you've been in a different place, but now you're going to have your own spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm blessed and fortunate enough to be able to be in a spot now to open my own gym. It's 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu Tucson, along with Toro Tech Mixed Martial Arts. This is my mixed martial arts fighting system. And it's just like a dream come true, you know? It's like we came up with the concept years ago, and then now it's here, and it's kind of shocking. So It's 4765 East Speedway. We're right on the corner of Speedway and Swan. I got 60 by 20 foot mat space, so we're gonna have it all: wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, and strength and conditioning. So I highly invite everybody to come out and check out our spot.
So that leads me to my next question. When are we gonna see a female from Tucson on the national scene? Is there anybody, you train a lot of people here locally, is there anybody you've seen that could get to that level?
I've seen several people that have hit, I guess you would call them the AAAs here in fighting, but there needs to be one girl that really does stand apart, and I mean, there's a couple of them, but really I want to see somebody really take that step and come up. But it's exciting because you don't know. Maybe she's in middle school right now. You really don't know. They were saying the girl to beat Ronda Rousey's in high school, and that wasn't the case. But, mixed martial arts is such an amazing sport. Is kids training jiu-jitsu or karate and taekwondo. Now you're getting kids that are just truly mixed martial arts kids, like Rory McDonald, who fights tonight. He's just one of those guys that trains solely in mixed martial arts, and he's number 2 in the welterweight division.
All right, it is UFC Fight Night 90 on July 7th. And Anthony, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you
we
so
look
much.
forward to talking to you on the other side to break it down like we always do.
Awesome.
Anthony Birchak, UFC Bantamweight, getting set for fight number 4.